attention to that man behind the curtain.
Who are you?
Yep. We're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I would like to make a disclaimer. I don't usually sound like a man, but, you know,
You don't sound like a man, by
I
the way.
kind of do. My normal voice would be like, hey, hey, and I was like,
Or sultry, like you're.
yeah, like,
Very-
hey, hi. Now it's like, hey, Kelly, what's up, yo? What's up, bro? What's up? Hi, guys. Okay,
No, it's not.
okay,
We're good. Don't worry about them.
okay, okay.
No, none of them matter.
right. Go.
Your decision to, like, get into, you said, singing, producing,
Yeah.
the three. What was it?
Because ever since I've always seen myself as a creative person and musically inclined, but like, I guess life happens and sometimes the inspiration isn't consistently there. So I'm the type of person that when I'm into something, I go all out and like 100%, yeah, let's do all these things. But then I have those moments when I just want to hide and be on hermit mode. And when that happens, I literally like close myself off from everyone. And then it takes a while for me to get back out there. And then when that happens, the momentum is kind of hard to rebuild.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since I last wrote a song and released an original song of mine. I think 2 or 3 years. And then this year I said I really wanted to sing again, but I didn't know how to start. So just one small step at a time, I said, I'm going to sing, I'm going to write, and I'm going to create. So because everybody's on social media anyway, even if I haven't released anything like a full-on release on Spotify or Apple Music, I could maybe do a quick cover, could maybe do a short video. And then when I did that, I tried to be as consistent as I can, even if it's like once a week. And then the more I did it, the more it brought back my love for it and how this actually comes naturally for me. So I just kept doing it. And so now after 4 months of doing that, I found myself, I'm now officially a content creator.
There you go.
I do content too, but it's really all based on those 3 things that I wanted to do, which was sing, write, and create. So yeah.
That's great. I mean, a lot of times, especially for creatives, there's that conflict between I know I need to create, but then I'm not feeling motivated.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with someone as creative as yourself, I like to think
Thank you.
I like to think of myself as a creative also.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just got to go under that rock. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And not even force it, because a lot of
That's the
you
worst
can't.
thing,
Yeah, it's hard
too.
to, like, if you're not inspired or motivated by something, like, you got to find those windows where, like, I got to the point where whether it's basketball or if I just want to, like, I like to do different things, right, for myself.
Yeah.
And now I got to the point where I just literally block off time where it's like I'm not on my phone, I'm not forcing anything
Yeah.
to myself to do anything, and just usually when I'm in that mode, something clicks eventually, right?
Yeah.
But anytime you try to, like, if I force myself in front of the screen to make a beat or force myself in front of a canvas to paint, it's gonna
Yeah.
be
It's kind of hard though sometimes because, like, the last thing I would want to do is force myself. But I do find myself having to, like, literally sometimes force myself to get into it. And then the flow starts happening. So it's not about forcing myself because I feel like I need to do this because people expect it from me. And there have been times when, like, I have friends telling me, "Oy, ano na? Ano nangyayari sa buhay mo?" Eh, parang, wait lang, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Can't force it. But when I decided to be there, like, it's more of the little things about being disciplined and having to force yourself to keep doing what you do.
right.
So sometimes I feel like I don't want to sing right now. I don't want to make something, but sige, let's just see where this goes. And then after 4 hours, you've created like 4 pieces of
Right.
content to put out. So in terms of the forcing yourself, I think it's more of an aspect of being disciplined to stick to your commitment.
Yeah.
But in terms of the other kind of forcing myself to do something that I don't want to do or I'm not in the right space for, I try to veer away from that because I don't want to be inauthentic too with what I put out. I just want it to be like, hey, this is me. I'm having fun. And I guess that's sorry. Am I too talkative?
No.
And I guess that's why people are drawn to what I put out now because I decided to just be myself. Because as a serious singer songwriter, I also had that idea of how I should present myself.
Right.
Like I'm also president of Alopecia Philippines, and I have all these grown up like titles that I would sometimes refer to as that I should be like this because I'm this way. Oh, people know me this way, so I can't be too goofy. I can't be too funny. I can't like dance. And people would say, "Hey, you're so old. Ba't ka pa nagti-TikTok? Anong ginagawa mo?" Yung mga ganong bagay na, I want to do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
So no matter what you say, people. I've had people say that sometimes my videos are cringe, and at first I was a little like, why would they say that? But then when I got more of both the positive and the negative comments, I'm like, oh, okay, it's part of it. At the end of the day, it's about me thinking if what I do is not true to myself anymore. So even if you find it cringe, I find it funny. I think it's cute. So even if you don't like it, I just post it.
You got that. To me, that's number one above all things, personal, professional, whatever. Like that's what I landed on. Like if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel real, if it's not true to self, then it's either not gonna turn out the way that you want it to, or something's gonna be produced that when you look back, like God, that just I don't connect with that at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is one of the best things about being older too. I mean, being more mature, because you care less about what other people think. Because I remember before, even the littlest things like, not naman so. Before, like, is this okay to post? Is the caption alright? Do you think it's too much? Should I do more? I'm like, now, whatever floats my boat, I just go with it.
Yeah. One of the best features on social media is the block button.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm one of the weirdest people that I know, bar none. And sometimes I post whatever I feel like posting, especially in the last several years when I think it's something about being in my 40s that my sister told me this, matter of fact, when I was going into my 40s, she's like, you just get to a point where you just stop caring about exactly what you said, what people think.
Yeah.
And so I just started posting myself like, all right, well, people are going to see this side of me just because this is what I want to, like, I don't want to try to hold up a facade. And if you don't like it, that's fine. If you're rude or you come off any kind of certain type of way, easy block. You know what I mean?
Have you like there's a Filipino term, patola. Sometimes I would say that to myself because sometimes I would give a comeback to some comments, especially on TikTok. I didn't expect some people to be rude.
You didn't expect people to be rude?
That rude. So, and sometimes it would be from kids too. Like the youngins, I'm like, who the heck? Oh, sorry. Who is this? Who the heck is this? And then you post, and it's like a high school or grade school person. I'm like, how does your mom know that you say these things?
Right.
So sometimes I would give a witty or sarcastic but smart comeback, not to like, well, to somehow put them in their place, just to know that, hey, you're not supposed to do that, or you don't know me for you to say that.
Yeah.
But when they get to the point that it just crosses the line, I would just block.
Yes. Because some people just don't deserve, you know what I mean, the reply. I had one recently. I commented on something. This was a few days ago. And had the comment to me had nothing to do with anything that was happening in that exchange. And I was just like, hey, man, I hope you get through whatever you're going through. Because the reality is, like, if you're on social media and you're just bashing people that you don't know, or you're ignorant to something and you're just commenting, more often than not, that person's life is shitty.
Yep.
And so that's what I kind of landed on, because before I would take all that stuff personally, and that's why I wouldn't post so much, or I wouldn't come out with some of the things or share any of the things that I might be creating or doing, because I don't want anybody to reject me.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But then now I'm like, oh, these people have horrible lives. That's why they're
They're
projecting
projecting your
exactly.
their issues towards you.
Yeah, and that's their outlet.
Yeah.
They don't know me. So, yeah,
And
that
could you imagine someone who's like happy, content, and at peace
yeah.
going on social media and say, "You suck."
Exactly.
It's like, sorry,
Ex-
bro.
yeah. So that's kind of where I land on. It still bothers me, like when because I just don't want to see that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like no one wants to
Still,
see it. Yeah, it still pierces
it's
a
like,
little bit like, why don't you like me?
I know. Like even I'd be like, I don't care what people think, but then I'd be like thinking about that comment for the next 10
Yeah,
minutes.
you're right.
Out of all the positive comments, you zero in on
Exactly.
user camera psycho the man, and you're like, why did
Yeah.
he say this about me?
Right. 44679 3. Like,
Yeah,
what is
I
this?
remember you.
No
I
picture.
remember.
Right. Yeah.
But it happens. I mean, we're all works in progress. We at least now we take the time to pause before we respond
Yeah.
and to weigh things. Sometimes it's fun to like snap back, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's not worth your time too.
You know what I think helps also is knowing that people like yourself, or like everyone who is out here trying to create, or content creators like yourself who are doing stuff, all go through the same thing, right? And you look back on the earlier days of social media, it's sad to think that about the ones, and I don't want to get too deep or too dark, but like you think about people who are so affected by these things that they ended up committing suicide or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right? And it's crazy to think that
Yeah.
a lot of times you just think it's isolated, it's personal, they're attacking, you know what I mean? It could be a mob mentality or whatever. But now when you realize like, oh, everyone deals with this no matter how big or small the following is, you start to realize like, oh, you start to put things into perspective like, oh, these people, they don't know me. They're just, they're looking at the cover and,
Yeah.
you know,
And they feel entitled to give whatever feedback that they want. And sometimes it's not even to help you. Like the main intention is to make you feel bad about yourself, to bring you down, which is sad because precisely about what you said, our words have the power to uplift someone or to bring them down. And if it reaches that point, especially we don't know what the people on the other side of the screen is going through, and they receive a bad comment at the wrong time,
yeah,
the wrong day, you'll never know where it will
exactly.
lead.
Yeah. So that's why there have been times where I've responded poorly, like that fight fire with fire idea thing. But it's exactly that. Like I know I can use my words very well, and I can give you a very professional fuck you without saying it, right?
Yeah.
But that just perpetuates the problem. That's what I realized for myself. Like if I just strike back, then even if I succeed in that moment of hurting this person's feelings or shutting them up, who does that help? That doesn't help
Yeah.
the world in any kind of way. And actually that kind of brings my vibe down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
Which is a struggle on its own too. I mean, you think, oh, social media, but it reflects so much about our growth and our journey as well. Like a simple comeback of being kind or being, yeah, I could play fire too, but how are you affecting the other person
Yeah.
who's receiving that, or whoever it is that's seeing the comments?
yeah.
Like the little things that we do make a huge impact too.
Yeah, super. Those people need hugs, man. Or some
Hell
sort
yeah.
of they need something in there that hits their love language, cuz yeah, I don't want to deal with that stuff
So
anymore.
bad too, because I have lots of friends who are like in the industry, which sometimes to put things in perspective, when I get those comments, like I know compared to all these famous people who have huge followings, and with all the insults hurled at them on a regular basis, it's like it's sad how some people are just dead set on being that force that wants to bring other people down.
Yeah. How do you do, like, you've been in the industry for a while and you've seen this stuff, you've seen it whether it's personally or through your colleagues.
Yeah, and my family too, because
Yeah.
I came from a showbiz. My mom's side is showbiz. My dad's political side. So I'm kind of used to. Well, you never get used to it, but I've seen.
Familiar with
Yeah, I'm
that.
familiar with it. So it's hard kasi pag ikaw yung nandun it's easier to say don't mind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just dead ma lang. Like what you said, they're just projecting their issues towards you and all those words of encouragement. But when you're there, it like I wouldn't go into detail, but my family has been in a couple of scandals or major issues over the years, and I've seen how much that has affected my family. And what's sad is, like, you feel like people have the audacity to be mean and rude and cruel towards someone who's actually human.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you say those people don't matter, but the words do stick.
Yeah.
The words keep replaying in your mind sometimes. And I think the support system helps too. Like having friends and family who are there to actually tell you when you're in that moment to block off these things.
Yeah, or remind you of who you really
Who you really
are.
are.
And yeah, that's where I've lacked over the years. I've had a very small circle, and that's been big for me already. But like, yeah, if you don't have someone that's like a support system, like I said, you
Yeah.
end up feeling isolated, personal, and you're taking these attacks.
Yeah. And what helps too with the support system is when you have people to talk to, you get to process your own emotions and thoughts about the issue as well.
Yeah,
Compared to when you're just letting it simmer and then you'll never know when you're going to blow up.
yeah. And I find that a lot of times, just with that in general, talking about whatever's going on, sometimes when you hear yourself say something that you've been processing a certain way, you're like, for myself, I'll say, when I talk about some things and my view on it, when I say it out loud to someone, I'm like, oh, wait, that doesn't make sense. Or like it kind of puts things in its proper perspective. But it's easy to get caught up in that stuff, for sure. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, some people are relentless.
Cockroaches. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's me being nice to the haters.
Yeah.
Dups.
No.
Kidding.
We give no energy to
No,
them.
yeah. So mean. Sometimes I'd be so tita too. Sometimes I'd be like, why would he say that? What? Okay.
Yeah, it's like that. They're kids. A lot of times they're kids. They're kids bored.
Yeah.
Do your
nothing to
homework,
do.
kids. Do your homework.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because right now I'm focusing on comedy. Well, not focusing, but most of my stuff are fun and quirky. And people feel like they have the right to bash what I do, right? And I'm like, excuse me, you just don't know, but you're not my target audience. I actually write for brands and commercials.
Right.
This is just practice for me.
Right.
This isn't my life. This is just one of the things that I do to hone my skills. So when you talk about how, like, tama na yan, someone asked me to unrelease my video the other day. It's like, do a next cover, your mouth. It's stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just
But it's funny. It's funny kasi parang na-challenge ako na parang kung alam mo lang, yung video ko na to, nag-viral siya ngayon pero a brand just got me to write a commercial
Right.
because of this. So, yun yung mga bagay na you don't have to prove yourself to anybody and you just have to be confident in your own
Yeah.
skills and talents. But sometimes it does get a little annoying.
it stings, but then it doesn't stop anything. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I was actually thinking about that this morning. Like, people can say what they want, but what matters is we don't stop creating. We don't stop showing up to whatever we're trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever we want to do. People think they're stopping the train, and that's a perfect example. Like, no, you're
Yeah.
not stopping anything. It's
Like,
just
do you think your one comment, the
Right.
one comment from a stranger is going to derail me
right.
from my path in life? You are sorely mistaken.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
But I'm actually a singer too, just talking about content now because that's what where I'm pretty active. But Yeah.
How
Because people might think I'm like a full-on content creator, but kind of,
you are.
kind of.
You wear several hats.
Yeah.
If you're not creating content, you're speaking somewhere. If you're not speaking somewhere, you're singing somewhere. If you're not singing somewhere, you and G are doing something.
or dancing, or dancing somewhere, which is fun. Um, but it also like withhold the three things that I was talking about: the music, writing, align, and creating. Parang when everything that you do is aligned, and you don't have to like you wear different hats, but it's the same person wearing the same hat, wearing the different hats. It's easy to go from one hat to the other, because it's like I don't need to change myself if I'm like this. Because even when like yeah, I'm dancing one day and the next day I'm giving a talk, a motivational, inspirational talk. I don't pretend to be someone I'm not when I'm actually doing it.
Right.
Like even if we're having a formal or serious podcast, this is still me. This is my personality. There's no need to act a certain way just because people expect that if you're wearing this hat, you should just be this
Yeah.
person.
Right. Yeah. It's that was something I struggled with early on with basketball. So especially here, right? Like basketball country, and that's the industry I'm in. I ended up feeling like, oh, I need to present myself a certain way because I'm only this, right? And like this, I'm this,
Yeah.
but then I'm only seeing myself through this one identity. And then
Yeah.
going back to that, people feeling entitled to, it's like, it's almost like you need to meet our expectations of who we believe you to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, bro. So
And they get upset if it
yeah,
doesn't match
yeah, and
their
exact,
concept
yeah, yeah,
of who
exactly,
you are. It's like,
exactly.
excuse me, you know me more than myself.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that comes. Is that something that comes with age or experience, where it's like you get to the point where you're like, wait, no, I need to be me. Because when you're younger, you kind of feel that pressure to be that, to perform in the way
Yeah.
that they expect you to, or be that person that they expect you to be.
Yeah. I think it's also like partly the age, because I remember when I was younger, I was also looking to so many people for advice to tell me what I should do and who I should be. But it was a good sign, like being thirsty for knowledge and wisdom.
Right.
What do you think? What should I do? Am I doing well? And trying to look for affirmation or validation from other people. But then as the years went by, like you start to find your own voice, and you have that inner compass telling you that okay, what he says is valid, it's pretty good, but that actually doesn't apply to me
Right.
and where I see myself going. That's valuable too. But then now you're able to pick and choose
Yes.
what works for you.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
how
that's
things
huge. I
are.
mean, it's exactly that. I think that's where I guess that definitely answers the question of like where it comes from, whether it's experience or age, because you at some point realize like, oh, I don't have to be that person. I can just
Yeah.
appreciate the piece that that resonates with me and continue to build. And at some point, you end up building an identity that I don't even know if it's building. It's just you bring out, like you realize who you are
Yeah.
in that process, right? Because you're trialing and erroring so
Yeah.
many different things and so many different parts and hats and stuff like that, and you land on that sweet spot of like, oh yeah, this is me. And then from that point, you kind of move forward like, yes, this is the direction I'm going. Now, moving forward, if this doesn't feel right, this doesn't connect,
Yeah.
you don't have to take that on. Whereas when we're younger, we're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Whether it's friends or family or
You think?
yeah.
Like I have most of my biggest regrets in life was because I listened to someone else to tell me what to do. But it's part of the process, though. Like what you said, trial and error. I mean, we wouldn't be so self-aware of who we are and what we want if we didn't go through all the ups and downs, the mistakes, and the detours, the U-turns. If we didn't know that that didn't work for us, we couldn't make that decision now and say, no, actually, that's not me, or yeah, maybe not for me. If you didn't have an experience, a learning experience to relate to
Yeah.
go back to say that, try that. No, not me.
Yeah. Life is tough in that way where a lot of the best lessons come from the hardest,
Yeah.
situations. Right. I want to backtrack because we mentioned G. Like, am I right by saying that y'all started Say What Up again? Or did you ever stop? Like, there
Yeah,
was a
we
moment where you stopped for a while, right?
Yeah, we had a big fight. It's okay. We get to
You can
talk
talk about it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hated each other for a time because just a quick backstory. She wanted to go all out with Say What. We had a YouTube channel. It's a comedy show, and then I wanted to. Oh, actually, yeah. In relation to the whole hats thing, because I wanted to do music, and I was working with a manager and a possible label telling me to focus on music. I didn't think that they matched. I didn't think that I could be the quirky, funny girl too if I was focused on music. So I had to
Right.
take a step back. But see, yeah, those are the things that you just. Looking back now, it's just funny because it was so stupid for me to. It's stupid for me to think that I only had to choose one,
Right.
or I could only be one person and have this image.
Right.
Because I could be like a serious singer and still do fun stuff with my friend in our mini YouTube channel.
Right. Right.
So now we're doing precisely that. I have my own thing. She has her family. She has a child now. She's hosting and she's acting. I'm into music. I do production work. We do some production work too on the side. But once in a while, we have this thing that, oh, once a month, let's just do some videos together, but just for fun. And we don't really get the chance to catch up, to check on how each person's life has been. So it's a catch up slash content creation day for us
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. In a space where you can be yourself and
Yeah,
nothing has to be forced or whatever. It's
which is one of the most valuable things too, because you mentioned having the circle of the support system. That's one thing that I think that has kept me going, and the reason why I'm sane is because I have really good friends who I'm able to talk to and process things with.
right. Yeah, that's huge. You guys are silly.
Yeah,
So,
I take pride in it too. I'm not ashamed.
what's that?
Being silly and weird.
We don't have enough of that in this world.
Yeah, that's why it's fun. So people
Especially
should
the
be more.
current world. Like everything needs to be curated. Everything needs to be scripted and
Yeah.
made up to the T. Like I'm personally tired of it. That's a big reason why I wanted to start this, because like I told you, it's going to be one of the easiest sit downs, because like there's not enough people just talking. You know what I mean? Like,
How has it been for you?
it's been good. Like, this is the sixth, I think. At minimum, so far, the pattern has been after the talks are done, like, I'm uplifted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could sound selfish, but I would like to think that me and the guests both feel like, oh, man, that was good. A tear away from whatever's happening in our worlds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's been good. I've gotten some feedback. Yeah, I just like the idea of just two humans being human and talking. Right, without having to like prompt or preempt or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
See, now you're trying to make me feel bad because I asked what the topic is. I'm kidding.
Everybody does.
I'm like, Kelly, what are we going to talk about? Oh.
I don't put it, but like everyone has sat there like, are we starting? I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a.
It's nice, though. I mean, our start, because when people usually talk to me, I already know the topics. I already know what the questions are going to be. So
Yeah.
this is pretty refreshing, because I get to, like what you said, unmask and talk about stuff that I don't really tell people or people ask me about.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the vulnerability.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over the scripted stuff. I'm over the. Some of that stuff is funny though. I'm not gonna lie. Like the little quick ones of, I don't know. I was watching one earlier today about like this lady. This lady was cleaning the inside of a big tank of, what do you call it? Like a fish. I don't know if it's a fish tank. Like say if you go to like SeaWorld or something and it's like the big glass
The
thing.
aquarium.
I swear I went to college. I went to college and high
There's
school.
actually a word for that, you know. It's a big tank. Oh,
Kurt, go give me some coffee, bro.
aquarium.
Aquarium, yes.
Cleaning
So
the
like
aquarium.
she's cleaning the aquarium. Oh, yes.
And then there's a story. There's a lesson in this. I feel like okay.
No, the lesson is I need to fucking read more or something. Gosh, what was I talking about?
No,
The
the aquarium. Yeah.
Yeah, it was before you got here. I was watching a video of a girl cleaning an aquarium, and this little octopus kept coming up to her and like playing with her like a puppy, and it was enjoyable. But now I can't get off the fact that I couldn't get aquarium out of my mouth.
No, so wait, so
That was it. Quick one.
okay.
Yeah.
So the metaphor that you wanted to. So the life learning.
The life learning is it's not all lost. Sometimes we need a break from the monotony. And,
There.
yeah, it's okay to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fi-
that's
yeah.
not even scripted. That's just like someone took a video.
That's very charming and organic, and like what you said, people need more stuff that just happen
Yeah.
and are fun and are like remind you of how life is supposed to be. It's like we could chill and relax and just watch.
Yeah. You don't have to have the camera running all the time.
There's value in that too, depending on what you want to accomplish with a video.
Yeah.
It's like being content creators, you want to make sure that people watch the videos, but yeah, balance.
I guess. Yeah.
Balance, baby.
No. Yeah. You're right. I guess as a content creator, not me. Speaking of you, content creators.
You're a content creator too. You have a podcast.
Yeah, but it's bare bones and very opposite of scripted.
Yeah, but that's the intention of what the podcast is supposed to be like. Bring out the insights, the real,
Yeah.
vulnerable,
The-
the vulnerable insights.
yeah, I suppose. Yeah. You're right.
Like you're not gonna all of a sudden dance here in the middle.
Why not?
But if you want to, you can because this is unscripted.
This is unscripted.
Yeah.
There's no music.
Only here on behind the curtain.
There is no music right now though, so it would be pointless to. No, that's not my genre.
Yeah.
Oh, you can sing though.
Yeah, that's my R&B imitation of R&B.
What is it?
Yeah.
Nowadays,
No, it's my voice. I can't sing. That's hoarse voice.
is the room not conducive to the acoustics aren't?
Oh, it's nice. Very nice. Hoy, ano na? Mag-usap. Baka
Kurt, did you,
sabihin nila, itong dalawang to, nagkwentuhan lang. But that's what this podcast is all about. We were talking about age a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm now the host. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So how has that been for you? Like still being excellent at what you do, and I'm sure it's also like a journey, an emotional journey in itself. Like still being in the industry.
Yeah. Well, excellent is a stretch, but thank you. It's different because I look at things from I don't want to say higher perspective, but from a far broader, grander perspective than when I was I'm just a player and
Yeah.
I'm trying to grind through. It's weird. It's like all of a sudden I have to know how to be a big brother to these young guys, and there's such a with every new batch now that I'm 42 now, every new batch, I'm like, these guys look like babies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some of these kids are young, like guys are young enough to be my son. So it's a weird dynamic, but a cool twist to yeah what I've experienced for so many years. Is there a similar like I guess dynamic for like in your
In
industry?
mine,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. In fact, well, my one of my really good friends, Julie, Julie, she's based in the States now. We would often have this conversation because ano naman, 'di ba? Vulnerable naman to podcast
For sure.
interview. Parang when you reach a certain age and then all these new artists are coming out, you tend to question your relevance and if people still actually care or want to listen to you, or sometimes umaabot yung di ko na kaya yon kasi iba na yung style ngayon eh. Parang what I did was amazing maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, but right now there's that sense of like imposter syndrome, I
Yeah.
guess, which makes you question whether or not you still belong or if you're still good at what you do.
Right.
That's why even though it's just like the little thing about the content, that's why it kind of made me feel alive, even if it's just short form videos, because it remind when I would get, not that I'm looking to other people for validation, but when people say, oh, we love your voice, you sing really well, sometimes those little things pile up and help, the little pats on the back to remind you, actually, it's not that they forgot who I am. It's because it's more I forget who I am sometimes.
Right.
So, yeah, small, like when I sing or do a video and people remind me, it boosts my confidence again and remind me of who I was and who I am.
Yeah, that's a hard thing
Yeah.
to to navigate.
Yeah, but it's like with most of my friends, because we're in the same age group. I think it's something that our batchmates tend to ha- think of and go through.
A lot of times when we're when I'm triggered by something, I that's the first thing I have to check. Like why is this touching something in me, right?
Yeah, why is
Like
it triggering something?
that's why it's easy for everyone else to say, "Don't let it bother you" or whatever. A lot of times when we are bothered, it's because it connects to something that we might identify with somehow or struggle with, right? Like somebody talks about how I shoot free throws or my shooting or whatever, and I'm like, I've been in my head about this for years, and now they're saying this, and I feel offended or whatever. And it's like, it's no excuse still to like fire back or whatever, but
Yeah.
you know, people. That's the thing. That's why it's important for people to understand. Like, first of all, where like people in, I don't like saying, say for you, you're in the spotlight. You've been in the industry for a long time. Celebrities and public figures, you're human. And a lot of people like to put us on this thing of like, well, this is you do this and this is for us, and so we're entitled to judge you and ridicule you and pick you apart because that's what you are. You're not like us. You're not human, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but fucking we have feelings and we do all the same stuff. We just took our what we knew how to do and took it to another level. But it's important for people to understand, like, everyone in general, us included, myself included, like, it's important to have compassion for
Yeah.
for people and understand that we're all dealing with something, right? Because you never know, like you said earlier, you never know how you might affect someone with your words. And the honest truth is, if you're out here spreading negativity that way, it not only is an indication of your current life situation or wherever you are in your life, it kind of circles back Like you're just planting seeds of negativity. You think you're spewing out negativity to other people or
Yeah.
hurting other people,
Where's
but you're
that
really
gonna
hurting
go?
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like with what you were saying about how you feel refreshed or uplifted when you talk to someone, it goes back to you. So it's the same thing with negativity. And I wanted to go back to what I said about my conversations with Julie. Like, there's that moment where you question whether you're still relevant or are you still good. But on the flip side, I love how our conversations would end. At the flip side, as an ate, like what you said, you're a kuya in the industry, we also know so much and we have so much to impart to the next generation. Like, you have talent. Yes, I have talent too. Oh, with that comes my experience as well. So there are some things that I know how to do, and I'm actually willing to teach you.
Right.
Let's see how we have stuff to share, but I also am able to add value to you because I went through all these things. So I love how, because we have a group, it's called Advocally. It's a platform that supports original Filipino music and rising artists. So we would have open mic nights. We have people share their songs for the first time. No one has heard my original song. Could I perform it
Oh, that's
on
cool.
it vocally?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And I remember how when I was just starting in the industry, that meant so much to me. For someone to give me the time and the day to want to listen to my music, to even allow me to perform. So now with what we know, like 10 years after added years, it's like we've learned so much from our own journey that we don't want you to go through feeling lost
Yeah.
or working with the wrong people, making the wrong decisions. We could help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You find yourself in that position a lot, like having to like guide and
Yeah, now.
advise.
Of course, I still need my own source of people helping me out with whatever it is that I'm dealing with. But I guess from the 40 years, 40, 40 years that I've been on this earth, I've had enough learnings to be able to at least pass on some of them to the next generation.
Yeah. That's great to have that mindset
Please vote for me as president of.
of
I'm kidding. No, I'm just saying it's like I'm running. I'm sharing my platform.
campaigning.
Campaigning.
And you can. I think you'd be a great president.
Well, president for Alopecia Philippines.
There you go.
Like that's one thing in terms of sharing life experiences
Yeah.
with the organization that I lead. It's very fulfilling because seeing them now, first time to attend an alopecia event or first time to post on social media, she's bald pala. They didn't have that courage. They didn't have someone to look up to say na, you could do it too. Look, I was able to do it before, so you could do it too. So now, I'm more of that ate role model president in our group.
Yeah.
But just because I was there earlier, parang you could, next in 5 years I wouldn't be the one speaking in front of the group anymore. It's you guys. Kayo na yung mga leader, kayo na yung officers.
Right. So now you're grooming the next
Yes.
leaders. That was a big step for you though, huh? To get to that point of like
Coming out bald.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 24 when I decided to come out bald. To those who are listening and who do not know, alopecia is a hair loss condition which results in baldness. And so when I was 4, I ended up losing my hair. I wore hats and wigs for the next 24 years. And people didn't know how my head looked like. So right now I'm wearing a wig, but I'm vocal about wearing a wig. Like tomorrow I could be like wear my natural short hair and it doesn't matter.
Right.
But before, like my wigs were my crutch and I couldn't leave home or I would feel naked without my wigs because it was a part of me. So having to remove that and say to people, hey, I'm actually bald, I have alopecia, it was such a huge step. It was a major turning point in my life, but one that completely changed the trajectory of who I was as a woman and as an artist. Because it hindi kinda, it added to my purpose in terms of why I have alopecia, why I should be vocal about having alopecia, because there are so many people who are hiding with it or are struggling with it. And at the same time, for my music, it helped add more depth and truth to what I write and what I presented.
Right.
Yeah. So gusto ko din sana kapag parang good vibes kasi, yeah, people see us like dancing, doing funny stuff on TikTok. Pero ang pinaka-root naman nun is good vibes and positivity eh. So when I write my own music then, gusto ko parating ano, merong positive, merong message.
Yeah.
Makaka-inspire siya ng mga tao. Hindi na yun nawala sa akin.
Yeah. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about how some of the hardest lessons, some of the best lessons for us is during the hardest like realizations and trials. And I asked if that would like, I could imagine that was a difficult even decision to come to for yourself to say like, you know,
Yeah.
fuck it, this is what it is. This is me. This is what I'm, you know, I'm standing up and I'm being vocal about it.
And super ano ko nun, I was so defensive leading up to that. Because it started when I had a manager before and I shot a music video and my hair, my wig, my real hair wig was obviously a wig. It wasn't moving in the scene. So they sat me down, like serious conversation. We have a problem, your wig's very distracting. It looks fake. I'm like, I'm just trying to do my thing. I feel like just so you would accept me, I need to wear my wig. And now you're telling me that my wig is distracting. So it was very heartbreaking for me. And they
How long ago
told
was that?
2012,
Okay.
July of 2012. And so they had this suggestion to go bald. They were like, what if we just use it as a marketing stunt? So you would be that Filipino singer who didn't have hair. And I was so defensive and upset about it because I spent all my life trying to please people and making them see me as normal. And now you just out of doing a marketing stunt, you want me to be
Right.
bald? Like, are you kidding me? Do you know how much I got bullied for being kalbo? Like
Right.
that term kalbo, it was so traumatic for me. So for me to be the one to actually shave my head, complete head, because my alopecia, I still have like baby hair.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to completely shave my head and come out bald. Pag uwi ko, I was just crying and I like, how could they want that from me or request that from me? I've been hiding from this my whole life and now you want me to show everybody that I'm bald?
Yeah.
So I was just crying, may acting. Then I searched bald girls online. I just wanted to see how they looked like. They seemed very pretty, but maybe I could pull it off. But then from that search, I came across alopecia organizations in the US and there are different awareness campaigns, there are foundations, kids camp dedicated to alopecia. And here in the Philippines, there was none of that. Like, if you have a poknat or your bald spot, you hide it.
Right.
People are gonna make fun of you. So what? All the more if you're completely bald and you're a woman, hide it. So when I came across those articles, those websites, there was like an epiphany, and everything just changed. It's like, oh, okay, God, maybe that's why I'm a singer. Maybe that's why I have this platform, and I could use my voice to actually spread awareness and help those with alopecia. So that was July. September is Alopecia Awareness Month. I decided, okay, in September, I'm going to come out bald. And I'll write a song to commemorate my journey. And then, yeah, everything just changed. I wrote a song called Beautiful. And the main message is, you're beautiful just as you are. Show the world who you are. It's so simple.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are having a hard time doing that. Not just if you have alopecia. I mean, we all have
With everything.
our own issues. But at the end of the day, don't be afraid to reveal your true self. So
Yes.
That's what the song is about. And then when I came out bald, all of a sudden messages online started pouring in. Hi po, Ate Abby, may alopecia din ako. Hindi ko mapakita sa mga tao. Wala akong makausap about it. Yung parang, ang dami pala namin. There were a lot of people here in the country with alopecia. It's just that it was taboo
Yeah.
to talk about it. So, Alopecia Philippines was formed, and now we have gone through 11 years together and still growing.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
That's
Thanks.
that's one of the beautiful things of social media and internet and connectivity now is where a lot of times, like you said, those taboo subjects, a lot of times people it's human nature to judge and ridicule what you don't know.
Yeah.
Ignorance, right? But now that we have access to information and the wider world, we're able to be a little less ignorant, have information, and be able to connect with people on a deeper level because we're able to see past certain things and have understanding. But that part of your life and what you do is one of the things I respect most about you. Because
Thank
like you
you.
said, one of like everyone is image conscious to some degree, right? Or conscious of how we present to the world in some way, whether it's holding back emotions or how we dressed or how we look or whatever. And that's no easy thing to do, to not only battle with the taboo, to be one of the there's another word I'm missing, not aquarium,
Proponent,
just
someone to champion.
yeah,
the
exactly. There's another word I'm looking for.
Advocate?
Okay,
Advocate?
that's one. Also, is another one I'm thinking of. It's sort of like
Leader?
spearheaded,
I was being
something like that.
pioneer.
Yeah, pioneer. There we
Oh,
go. Yeah, good job.
yeah.
You're my thesaurus today.
The pioneer, ding ding ding.
Yeah, but to be able to pioneer something like that in a world within the Philippines that just doesn't understand what's happening, that takes a different type of person. Like it takes a different type of courage, where most would shy away from it. And
Thank you.
yeah,
That came from a lot of fear too. I mean, you wouldn't be courageous if fear
without
wasn't
fear.
involved. So, and what I realized, sometimes it doesn't have to be such a huge step too. Like people know, oh, she shaved, she's bald, she completely came out bald. But prior to, because I decided July, and then I made the decision to come out bald September. Like every week, I would do something so little to build the confidence and the courage. Like for September, first week of September, I remember posting September is Alopecia Awareness Month. Just that. Because, like, why is she all of a sudden posting about this? But for me, it was major because people didn't know that I had alopecia. And then the next one, I started an awareness campaign. I asked people to do AA hand sign just to support alopecia awareness. And then after a couple of weeks, that's when I came out bald. So I think with courage, it doesn't always have to be a big monumental act. Sometimes it takes baby steps
Absolutely.
until you reach that point. Now, you look back and you're like, I'm courageous because I allowed myself to be courageous, even in the little things piling up to who I am right now.
Yeah, that's that's that in itself is huge because it's easy to just sit still and not do anything and be crippled and paralyzed by fear,
Yeah.
right?
Even during that day when I was gonna come out bald, because I had a mini concert, I was backstage crying to my best friend. It's like, man, ayoko, di ko kaya. Sabi niya, it's okay, you can do it. Do you really want to do it? Yeah, but it's so hard. It's so hard because I didn't want, like, I saw baldness as ugly and it had to be hidden. So for me to take that step to shatter that preconception in my mind, it was so hard but so liberating when I actually did it.
Yeah,
And yeah, one of the best decisions of my life, which doesn't mean I don't get insecure about it still. Like even now, because I'm wearing this pink wig. To those who are listening through the podcast on audio, it's a platinum wig, and when I tried it, I'm
It
like,
looks great.
oh, thank you. But I had to like look in the mirror so many times, because even if I lead this organization, I pioneered Alopecia Philippines, I'm still a person. I'm still a woman who also wants to look good. And before my I guess the reason why I stopped wearing wigs when I came out bald, because it was such a tedious process to have to carry that 20 years ago of feeling like you need the hair to be accepted, to feel like if I go out of the building, the wind might make my hair fly out. Or this happened. We were in PE class playing basketball, and my hair fell on the floor. Or we were in Boracay and with my friends, we were doing the joust, and it just flew off. And yeah. Ano siya, parang ang dami niyang trauma na nakasama.
I was gonna ask.
Yung wigs
Yeah.
and being bald. So now, even being here and talking about it is that mini step of courage.
Yeah.
Like every time I speak about it, because I don't think it completely goes away.
Yeah.
Like there would always be the insecurity there and reminding me that I'm the girl with alopecia. But the more you bring it to the light, the more it loses power.
Yes.
So even with the whole wig thing, it was so. I posted. I went to Fashion Week with my friends, and I'm like, I just felt like doing something new. I have platinum hair today, and then I said, this wig was by. Even that small little thing of acknowledging that I was wearing a wig, it was so major for me, because before I could never, like. This has to pass as my real hair. People would need to think that it's my real hair. But now it's like, yeah, I'm wearing a wig.
Yeah.
So what? I like it. It's a
Yeah.
different vibe. Which came with me being bald too. The word kalbo before was negative and was hurtful. But when I came out bald, I'm like, yeah, kalbo na ako. Woo. Okay, so now you can't use that to hurt me anymore.
Right.
Because I'm the one, I acknowledged it, and I'm even the one talking about being bald. So, yeah,
Taking your power back.
taking your power back.
I was gonna ask, like, with all of this, with all that you've done over the years, over a decade now. Obviously, like you said, you grew up. There's a lot of trauma behind all these things and these experiences, especially with kids. Kids are assholes at times,
Yeah.
but we're still affected nonetheless later on in life as we whatever go through what we go through. Has this been healing for that child in ways, or like do you still
Alex
have to
gonna
like?
make me cry.
No, don't cry. I mean, you
okay.
can cry. There's tissues, but I'm curious because okay, I'll say because
Yeah.
for myself, the amount of trauma that I've had from my childhood that I'm still sifting through and working through it's a book in itself, and so I'm always thinking about how certain things affect the child in me and the certain traumas that I've like very specifically went through and whatever, how I can heal or move on from.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting when I hear a story, principally like how you've really championed and gone through and faced all the fears and the things that did bring you trauma to, from here to just here. Like I'm curious to how it may have, did it retroact in some sort of way, or is it something that you're constantly comforting with that inner child?
Like the other day, 2 weeks ago, not the other day, 2 weeks ago, it was our alopecia annual thing. And then there was this girl, and she didn't want to talk to people. She was just there with her mom. And she looked exactly like I did when I was a kid. Like she didn't have eyebrows. Because when you have alopecia, sometimes you don't have eyebrows, no eyelashes. So she was bald, and she was just doing this. This is how she is. And if you talk to her, she'd do a mini smile. And I remember that was exactly how I was when I was a kid. So whenever it's healing, but it, like when I see them go to the events and meet people who are like them, and be told that you're beautiful and you're complete just the way you are. It kind of, it makes me a little emotional because those were the words that I never got to hear
Yeah.
when I was growing up. Like, there was no support group.
Yeah.
You had to fake having hair to be accepted. You had to have your crowning glory, because if not, you're not a complete girl or a complete woman. So when I see the kids, it's pretty major for me. I get emotional because it's like it's like I know that this is why I was placed on earth,
Yeah.
because I don't want them to have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
So it's healing for me, but more so for everyone else, that my story is able to touch and inspire. So I just want to keep. I know that this is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Like, I may not be speaking the whole time, but I would always have this advocacy and have this cause, because it's a lifelong calling for me.
Yeah. I love that. That's, yeah. Wow, that's amazing to hear. Like, for me, it's I feel like that's something I needed to hear. I got two sons, and I've tried to over the years parent from that place of being what I wish I had growing up. I lost my dad at an early age, and whatever. So I was always seeking for some sort of guidance, male figure or some sort of father figure. And in comes basketball and coaches and blah blah blah. Anyway, so I try to parent from that place. A lot of me as a parent comes from that place. Being the kuya on my team, it's like, what did I need as a vet when I was coming up
Yeah.
that I feel like I didn't have, or what would have made me a little bit better. So I kuya from that place as well. But that's a common thread for people who are doing great things like yourself. A lot of times they come from that place of what they needed, and that's a great place to come from, because it's real. Where a lot of people are trying to do things where it's like it's heady. It's like, this seems like the right route to go, or this seems like a good way to, going back to the producers were saying, like, you should come out bald because this would, whatever, you can
Yeah.
be that girl, you know
Get
what I
the
mean?
attention.
Yeah, from that angle, and usually that either fizzles out or it just has no power behind it. But
Yeah.
when we come from that place that's true to us, I think you always will have some sort of impact, and that's what you're doing.
Thank you. It's also what you're doing. I mean,
trying.
why do you want to have a podcast? For sure, it's to be able to be that person too, to allow conversations that could potentially help whoever is going to be listening to it.
Yeah.
But I think we're wired the same way. Some people just don't care. But parang it makes your life all the more fulfilling if you're doing it to sort of create positive change and make
Yeah.
other people's lives better.
For sure.
Makes, yeah.
Yeah, and anything that we do, some people are going to connect with it, some people won't. That's just
Yeah.
that's just life in general. Some are going to hate us, some are going to love us, no matter what we do. But
Why did you want to do a behind the curtains podcast?
well, I at some point I like, I'll meet with people for coffee or something and just have a conversation. And 90% of the time, at some point in the conversation, I'm like, wow, I wish someone was listening to this. Like, this would be uplifting, or this would
Yeah.
be helpful for someone else to hear. So there was that angle, but I also wanted people to realize, to kind of start to shed light on the ignorance of, like, dehumanizing people, I guess, from who may be public figures,
Yeah.
or to help people understand, like, oh, they have feelings also. They go through their shit also, which I also wanted to be able to do. And yeah,
That's nice.
it's totally different for me because there's no I hope someone watches this, or I hope I can find, it's
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that the right people will find the right episode or
Yeah.
message they need to hear at the right time. And that's kind of been the pattern in my life anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind trying to like perpetuate that ripple of like putting the information out there and
Yeah.
just believe whether it's 10 views or whatever, like those people needed to hear something from that and just kind of going with it. My
Mm-hmm.
job is to just put it out
Put
there.
it out.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why
Okay.
this exists.
Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate you coming.
And let's get more people to listen too. Like I
Sure.
understand, cause I think like when you have something valuable to share, I know a big part of us as creators and as people is to, yeah, to talk about it or to sing about it, but it sometimes it won't reach the ears or the hearts that it's meant to reach if we also don't share it.
Yeah. And that's honestly where I'm weak at. Right? Like
That's
there's not a marketing bone in my, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like I'm not a, and
I could
that's,
help with that. I'm a marketing person.
oh, I would appreciate it.
Hmm.
Any help would be
Yeah.
helpful. But nah, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to be able to start somewhere
Hmm.
and kind of take my lumps and learnings as I go, because I don't know how much longer I'll have this platform. I don't, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be able to say, at least I tried
Hmm.
whenever this thing is said and
And you
done.
enjoy it too.
I love it. Yeah. I can stay home and,
Hmm.
and talk to people I actually want to talk to. And
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know where it's going to go from here, but this was the heart of it, to be able to
Hmm.
have real, genuine, authentic conversations
Yeah.
with people who aren't afraid to unmask and be vulnerable.
Too much unmasking.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Too much.
No,
Yeah.
but
I enjoyed though, cause you know these are stuff that I don't really get to delve into
yeah.
when I do interviews.
Well, I really appreciate you being vulnerable and
Thank you.
sharing with me. You've always
I
been
have more to
someone.
talk about. I'm kidding.
Fill out the
From my
scroll.
yeah. So that time when I was 8 years old.
Let me get my
I'm kidding.
glasses and my notepad.
Yeah.
No, well, it's been over an hour, but
That went by quick though.
it did feel like it.
Hmm.
Um, Hopefully, we can do this again.
Hmm.
We can circle back again if you can
Yeah.
make the trek.
And I could interview you too.
I'd love it.
Hmm.
I don't know how much value I'd bring in my answers, but
Oh come on. Oh come on.
no, I have actually,
No,
no.
because you're other than being an athlete, like you seem to have a lot of substance to and stuff to share, and that's why I appreciate. Other than you asking about my journey, I appreciated your insights too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I try to delve into different things. I've been caught up on this whole Anunnaki ancient stuff. You ever heard of
What's that?
Anunnaki?
No. What
I
is
won't
it?
get into it. It's a lot.
Tell
But
me later.
yeah, I'll tell you another
Mm.
time. But that's what I've been stuck on lately, and it has nothing to do with anything anyone's really talking about.
Is it a mindset? What is it?
No, it's
Ah,
it's a it's a species of
s-
gosh.
are
Whoever
these
knows about Anunnaki is
fish
probably
that
gonna
are
be
in an
like,
aquarium, a giant fish tank? No.
um,
What is?
I'm gonna cut this shit. It's a species of people. Not people. It's like
Oh,
they're almost like aliens. And
Inglorious.
the theory behind it is they genetically developed human race as we know it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're from a whole another planet, and they needed
Oh.
gold, and Earth, they sent they came to Earth because Earth was plentiful in gold, and they created humans to basically be slaves to mine the gold that they needed
okay.
to save their planet.
Okay.
I've been stuck on that for.
Are you part of the Anunnaki group?
They said they're still hybrids.
Oh.
I believe I might
You
I might have found my
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I've been stuck
Okay,
on
that's
that.
the first time I heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. It's not for everybody, but there a lot of what they talk about ties into even like biblical different deities, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting. Anyway, so to go back to what you said, yeah, those are the kind of things a lot of people don't know that I'm into. Aliens and
Aliens.
outer space, and anyway. So you can add that to the
Got it. Anunnaki.
round me on out.
Kelly Anunnaki. Okay.
I really do. I think I'm an alien to some degree.
Okay. I
You think so?
Yeah.
You can get the vibe, right?
yeah.
Something's up with this
Was
guy.
that why you're tall?
It could be.
Could be.
The original Anunnaki were like 9 to 15 feet.
Oh, so you're one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, I'm one of the small because of gravity, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
born on Earth.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway,
We'll cut this.
Thank
We'll
you
cut
so
this now.
much
No, I appreciate
having
you.
me.
Thank you for coming. We'll do this again.
yes.